Hey, sorry. My video started recording before I was ready. Um, hey guys. It's me. It's reflections of my evolution. Just one sec. Okay. Um, it's me. It's reflections of my evolution. I came back because I have friends in high places and they asked me to return. They gave me a call, and this call involved for me to be in the video in my physical form. So it's not just my voice and some picture, that I created. Um, Still getting used to this of being on camera. It's it's still new. But they wanted to be for me to be in my physical form. I'm not really a big fan of human avatars. Um, that's why I like to fuck with mine a lot. I kind of like to show up in a different way and kind of use my creativity in my videos just to make this much more fun for you guys and especially for myself. Um, I told them that if they wanted me to do this for them, that they would have to at least let me have fun and to have creative expression. And they said it's a wrap, it's good. You have the green light to do that. So I love having that freedom. You know what I mean? It makes things so much easier and I get to be who I truly am, because at the very beginning of my channel, I tried being as normal as I could, and it was just really uncomfortable because that's not who I am, and this whole channel is about being authentic and being open. And just even my videos, they're not edited. I don't go back and edit what I'm saying or taking things out or things like that. It's raw. What you see is what you get. Okay? So, anyways, on to the download. All right, welcome back, guys, and thank you for pressing play. Um, this, like I mentioned earlier, this download's gonna be about what death means to higher dimensions, compared to the way that it's portrayed in the 3D. Okay. Um, the 3D definition of death uh, looks really negative for the most part, very pessimistic, and even tragic, and even full of suffering and pain. At least that's the observation that I have seen whenever I've been across this term known as death in the 3D. It's never been something that I have wanted to look at or be involved in. And ever since I could remember, since I was playing the role of being a younger kid, I somehow knew that there was something wrong with the way death was being portrayed in the third dimension. Even before I was awake and I came into the realization of what this really is, I knew something was off, about death. Like it just didn't seem real the way it was being portrayed in the 3D. Like I just didn't agree with it. Let's put it that way. Um, the physical and tangible 3D is the most realistic portion of the simulation. Um, it's about as real as it gets, and I've mentioned this in other videos. Because you can see things, you can touch things, um, you can smell things, you can taste them, you can see everything and hear stuff. It's very, very interactive, so it looks very real. In this simulated experience, the third dimension serves a really big purpose. Um, it's like I've stated earlier, it's a very highly advanced it's like a filter. It's a highly, highly um, technologically advanced filter that makes things look and feel very real. And the reason it shows up this way is for the purpose of keeping you engaged and keeping you creating your next experience, and even for some of you, reformatting your simulation, which is what I did with mine. I did not like where my own personal life was going, so I decided to change it because I just thought it really sucked what I had created when I was unconscious. It wasn't the kind of life that I wanted. But I'll be a little bit more open about that at a future time as I am guided to. So, just to stay on topic, the third dimension, like I've said earlier in that sort of little intro that I had, that moment at the beginning, it's looked as very unfortunate and painful. Um, and There's a lot of things involved in it, depending what type of a life path you chose to, you know, give birth into your simulated experience, or what race or life path or a type of life that you chose to have. Um, there's like a lot of things that are involved in it. There's, the cemeteries, there's either burning the body or putting it in a place called a coffin and putting it in a cemetery so you could go and visit this person, and so forth, right? That's the way it's being portrayed in the 3D. And I'm pretty sure in other what in the 3D would be other life paths or decisions or things that you chose, it would be different as well too, that I'm not aware of. I'm just speaking in the sense of what I see in my personal simulated experience. Let's see here. Uh, Once you come to the realization, okay, and you truly, truly know what you're inside of and what you're playing inside of every day, and you truly know, based on the things that you have seen as confirmation, that you're in a highly technologically advanced simulation, you're going to come to the realization that what you are is simply a character. You're playing a character in your own simulated reality. And you will start to understand that death, what it really is a transition. It's not the end of you, because you will never end. You are pure consciousness, which means that whether you have a physical form or not, you will never cease to exist. Your consciousness will be ongoing forever. Okay. Death is simply the end of your simulation and your simulated game. That's what it really is, not the way that it's portrayed in the third dimension. What is happening is that you are releasing your physical vessel or your avatar, and you are returning back to your true nature, which is what I just mentioned. You are consciousness. You could even word it as being awareness, because that also comes with consciousness itself. And that is what all of us are, including myself. I'm going to take this opportunity while I'm here in the 3D on this platform, um, publishing this download, to repeat this again, especially if this is someone who might be coming across this video for the very first time and is a new visitor, or for anyone who has found me for the very first time. What I'm about to repeat back to you is vital to your reprogramming of your subconscious mind. Um, the 3D, or what is also um, termed the third dimensional world, can best be described as a highly technologically advanced filter in this simulated game, the simulated reality. It is this way, basically for you to experience your human senses, like I mentioned earlier, and that's what makes it look and feel so real. Your current level of consciousness has everything to do with your understanding. The more you elevate in consciousness, the more your mind will open up and be able to process information, knowledge beyond your 3D programming. Your 3D world is a vast collection of your unconscious conditioning when you were all in a state of sleep. So, whenever you take a look, outside your window or inside of your house, apartment, condo, wherever place that you live, this is the third dimension. Um, this is what is known as the highly advanced human experience that you're having via a high level simulation. The high level technology that is laced into this experience is what makes it look and feel very legitimate, and even to some of you as being real. The portrayal of death in the third dimension will be different for every character due to the many choices and life paths that will be created and played out in every simulation. What you must remember is that this simulated reality will always play out like a movie, your own personal movie where you are the main character. And it is only your perspective that will unfold right before you. So what I mean by this is that only you can see your simulation through your eyes, because everything here is working through how you're, you know, taking everything in with your senses, the human senses that are part of this body that you are in. Let's see. Death isn't definite. Um, it's only definite for the physical avatar, for the body that you are inside of right now. When the process of death happens in the third dimension, and a transition basically is what's happening. Um, we are all consciousness, like I kind of tapped into at the very beginning. You're never the body that you currently find yourself in. I know that really sounds kind of like, whoa, what? Unbelievable, but it's really the what you see in tangible and physical form is what I'm trying to say, or even in a reflection, right? Like in a picture, or when you see yourself in the mirror. Um, that's just the character that you are currently playing in your current simulated game. This character that you play is temporary. Like for example, this is the character that I'm playing in my game, right? This body that I'm in is only temporary, and it will be released when the time comes for the process or the incident of death to play out in my simulation. But my consciousness will keep going, you know. So basically, your physical body that you operate inside of is temporary. You will never cease to exist. Okay? If I were to explain this in 3D terms, and I try to go back and forth and not keep it just purely high dimensional thinking, because I do realize that many levels of consciousness will come across my videos at some point in time. And I try to go into the third dimensional way of looking at things that I still remember when I was unconscious. So I'm going to put this in a third dimensional type of way. Think about it this way: you never really die. Okay, you are simply releasing your physical body, the body that you manifested to bring yourself into in order to have this simulated experience. You will continue because you don't require a physical body. This is not your nature. All of us don't require to have a physical body, and we don't even have one because we are having a human experience, but we're not actually human. You know what I mean? We're highly, highly evolved beings, all of us, whether we know it or not. Um, the decision to return for another human experience, of course, will be your choice. And if you decide to come back and have another human experience, this will require a completely new simulation and also a new identity and even a new avatar. As I have mentioned in previous downloads, the process will be the same. You will create your own simulation, but forget that you made it. Okay, so you're going to have a sort of selective amnesia. Every experience will be like if you're having it for the very first time. Okay, but always remember that whatever goes on in your simulation, especially your experiences, they're malleable, they're changeable. So nothing is ever set in stone. As you awaken to your true nature and why you chose your experience, you will be able to manifest changes, which means that you're going to start to learn how to realize your power of knowing how to manipulate your own reality. Um, Death isn't bad, you guys. It is simply a release. I know in the third dimension, it's not portrayed as being the most positive thing, and but it's not tragic. It's basically means that you have come to the end of your simulated reality, and you're going to let go of your body, but your consciousness, you're going to continue to go on. Okay, let me see here. The final piece of this download is that your growth, your expansion is solely upon you. Okay. Um, Nothing here controls you, even though I know it does look that way in the third dimension, especially if you have a lot of um, assumptions that you made about things that were not favorable for you. You're going to have a lot of beliefs that are limiting beliefs that are not good for you. In the simulation, and yours in particular, you are constantly choosing and making decisions. Okay. Every choice made is like opening the door to a different portal, um, a different passageway inside of your simulated reality. Just to let you guys know and to remind you of this, you are in complete control of what you experience in your simulation. Nothing is chance and nothing is happening at random. Every single experience is coming from you. Death can be an experience of suffering. It could be something that is painful, that uh, is not good. You know, you could even suffer, based on what you decided to buy into while you were in your simulation. For example, if you bought into the 3D program about disease, then your death experience is going to involve a lot of suffering, possibly. Everything is really up to you and what you decide to have in your mind and make stories about and make into beliefs. Okay? Death can also be tragic. If you decided to choose thoughts and make assumptions that created for yourself a lifestyle of confusion and even disorder. Death can be either as peaceful as you want it to be, or it can also be unfortunate. But this is really up to you and the choices that you made and the type of life that you decided to live in your simulated reality. Your simulation will begin to offer you circumstances. And as soon as the simulation, as you're able to know that you can start making choices, and you can start making your own decisions, every choice is going to open you into a new experience. How you perceive your experiences will begin to build your belief system. And once your belief system has a rooted foundation, your assumptions, your patterns, and your storytelling will begin. Um, your storytelling creates your self narrative. And what I mean by self narrative, in case you are not aware that you're doing this, it's very important that I speak about this very quickly. Self narrative is when you speak to yourself. We all do it, we all have experiences with this. We talk to ourselves, we ruminate, we even tell stories in our mind about things when we are alone and we are not distracted with other characters in our simulation. But those moments when you are alone are the most important. And get into the habit of telling yourself good things instead of going the route of being negative or being pessimistic. Because at the end of the day, this is all going to start to show up in your simulation. So be very, very mindful of how you speak to yourself. Okay? And since you're always speaking to yourself, this is why I have mentioned in prior videos that manifestation doesn't only happen when you want something in particular or a desire. It's happening all the time because you are always talking to yourself and you're always ruminating. Please remember, guys, You are the simulation. Okay. Just wanted to say thank you for being here, for taking the time to press play on my video and for your view. Um, if you were guided to be here, you were not guided by mistake. There was something within this download that is going to be of service for you. So I'm glad that you decided to follow your guidance and that you're here today. All right, guys, my time here in the 3D is over. I'm going to go ahead and end this transmission. I just wanted to tell you guys that I love each and every one of you that comes across my channel or that plays any of my videos. Thank you for being here. My friends will call me back when it's time. I don't follow third dimensional time. I kind of do things a little bit different. You know, my timing is a little bit different to the timing that is in the 3D. So I come here at different times. But, anyways, thank you so much for your presence here. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you for watching my video today. I hope that you guys are all doing well. And I will see you soon. I love you. Bye. Until the next one.